I was not expecting to record anything today, but I feel it's my responsibility to share with you something very serious that's happening. ColdCard, their products, have what is being called an RNG bug, which is a random number generator bug, which basically means, quick and dirty summary, that if you used their MK3 product, I'll insert screenshots so you can see it, their MK4, maybe even it seems as though the whole range of their hardware wallets have been impacted by this bug where there is little entropy. I think on their website they're talking about 72 bits, but I've heard other numbers elsewhere. And therefore, the seed phrase that it generates is basically getting hacked. To my understanding so far, over 500 Bitcoin has been hacked and multiple users have been impacted. I think that Callie on X did a really good summary of what's going on, so I'm just going to read his summary. If you don't follow him, if you don't follow ColdCard, if you don't follow a number of Bitcoiners in the space, I suggest you probably pause the video, start following to read, because this situation is updating very quickly and it's very, very sad and scary for a lot of people. So I'm just going to share my screen. And so, Callie writes, "This is worse than any previous Bitcoin exchange hack. It is arguably one of the worst things that could happen. Popular hardware wallet ColdCard has a faulty random number generator, RNG. Funds are being drained from ordinary users' hardware wallets." As you read this, users first reported to Block less than 24 hours ago that funds were moving out of their wallets. The exploit was most likely discovered with the help of AI. Block has confirmed that RNG is broken. You know what that means. There are likely already multiple attackers competing for the effective BTC. Many more will join very soon. Nobody knows how much BTC is affected. Nobody knows how many users are affected. This attack has only just begun and will continue until all affected BTC has been drained unless users secure their funds. Inevitably, many Bitcoiners will not hear about the incident early enough to respond in time. I'm truly saddened for everyone affected, especially those who may have just lost their life savings. The worst part is they did everything right. And I think that, what Callie wrote is so well said. There are so many people. There are people who are posting on X already saying that they've lost their funds, and I'm absolutely heartbroken for them. I'm just going to share this one in particular because it's just, I saw this today. So I haven't been on X for the past few days, and I opened the app today and I just saw blood on the streets. So this is Alberta Hoddle, quote tweeting ColdCard MK3 security advisory tweet. And basically he said, if you checked your stack and it was still there, do not assume it will stay safe. My wife logged in a couple minutes apart and watched funds leave the second time. Move it ASAP. I mean, this is so incredibly sad. And so if you're seeing this, stop this video and try to stay calm, breathe, and figure out what you can do to move your funds as soon as possible. I've obviously been to CoinKite's website, and their latest update is from, let me share this on my screen. Their latest update. So this one was published July 30th, 2026, MK3 Security Advisory. And they're calling it an advisory and not an alert. But so this was updated July 31st, 2026 at 9:33 a.m. EDT. It says fixed firmware is now available. MK4 and MK5 users must update to version 5.6.0 or later. Q users must update to version 1.5.0 Q or later. For MK3, update to version 4.2.0 or later. Do not generate a new seed on any of these models until the update is installed. CoinKite is warning all users who generated a seed using an MK3 or version 4.0.1, so March 2021, through 4.1.9 inclusive, that their funds may be at risk. As we just saw, there are people tweeting that their funds were at risk. Seeds generated on MK4, and MK5 before the fixed firmware release are also affected with about 72 bits of entropy rather than the expected 128 bits. Updating the firmware does not change or repair an existing seed. If your seed was generated before the fixed firmware version, for your model, follow the migration guidance below unless the independent dice entropy exception applies to you. TapSigner, OpenDime, and SatsCard are not affected by this bug as they are different code bases. The issue present on MK3 firmware versions 4.0.1 through 4.1.9 inclusive. It also affects seeds generated on MK4 and MK5 before version 5.6.0 and on Q before version 1.5.0. The impact on MK4, MK5, and Q is not as severe, but still serious. And then they go on to say, if you added dice when creating the seed, here's how you're affected by the issue, if you used a passphrase, if the MK3 is your only device, et cetera, et cetera. So consult their website, but I personally, in good conscience, cannot encourage anyone to, at this time at least, continue using a ColdCard device. There have a lot of different recommendations have been made. For example, perhaps you can move your Bitcoin to an exchange. Perhaps you can create a secondary setup with multi-sig and a passphrase and try to move your funds before whoever is carrying out this attack gets to your Bitcoin. I think that would be the best option. But again, I'm not there with you, so I don't know your exact setup. I don't know what resources you have, what hardware wallets you have. So I'm not going to give specific advice or recommendation. But I do want to share that this is happening. There's so many accounts to follow on X. There are spaces that are available so that you can get more information. But whatever you do, try to stay as calm as possible before taking action so that you don't fat finger and make another mistake that just worsens the situation. I'd also like to say that this attack that's happening is, for the time being, on a specific hardware wallet provider, which is ColdCard, and the company behind it is CoinKite. This is not an attack on Bitcoin itself. It's not like quantum computing, breaking Bitcoin. It's none of that. So far, it is a targeted attack on one company's hardware devices. So keep that in mind. Keep learning. I know it's a pain, especially if you have a life. You've got a job, you've got kids, you've got, your spouse, you have friends, you have family, you've got so many things to take care of. So it is time consuming to be on X all the time, trying to follow updates. I will do my best to provide updates as things progress, with accurate information as opposed to speculation. And if you are out there, like the wife of Alberta Hoddle, my heart goes out to you. If you are out there and your funds were lost because of this, I know it sounds quite, condescending or pretentious to say, but really take a deep breath. It is money. It might be a lot of money, but know that you can rebuild. You've worked hard to learn about Bitcoin. You've worked hard to make your money. You've worked hard to save your money. You've worked hard to learn how to self-custody, and something like this happens. It is absolutely terrible. But have faith in yourself that you can rebuild, that you can start saving again, that you can grow, and hopefully you and we can all learn from this situation. I hope this video is helpful. Of course, in the comment section, please leave comments. If I've said something incorrect, correct me. I don't mind at all. Just put it out there. And I will do my best to keep track of the situation. I hope you can enjoy the rest of your weekend, and it's always possible to rebuild. Bye.